This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptos to trade on their spot, perpetual coin futures, USDT futures, with leverage of 1x to up to 125x, you can trade foreign exchange, commodities like gold, silver and oil, and traditional markets like Nasdaq, all with some of the lowest fees available on any trading platform. You can use their copy trader to copy other traders with better performance than you, or you can become a copy trader yourself and earn a few extra percent from the people that follow you. Plus, you got 9 out of 10 stars from the Coin Bureau guy. Bityard. Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm absolutely sweating my pants off here today. It's roasting hot. Well, I don't know where you are, but it's absolutely roasting here. So let's have a think about the everything bounce, what I was talking about yesterday. So at the moment we're seeing oil actually pulling back, pretty much the day after I made that video. So I kind of knew it was coming down for lower prices, and already we're down what, 5.5, moving towards 6% down, so that's a decent reaction. Maybe somebody watched my video, I don't know. So we're thinking about front-running CPI data by looking at the things that feed into CPI data. Now obviously we know about the rate hike, that's done, that's barely going to touch the side, but it is a move towards lower inflation. The other two things mostly are going to be food and fuel, right? So we're looking at fuel here, effectively oil prices coming down by what, 5 to 6%. Nice. Okay, so that's a good start. Wheat as well, so wheat is obviously your food, or most part of it, and again that's consolidating at the moment from this big blow-off top, I would call it. It was a blow-off top kind of vibe, all completely irrational due to the fundamental reason being that the world's wheat resources over in Ukraine are effectively been sealed off. It was a bit too crazy, and I think from now we're just going to see lower prices when it comes to wheat. Doesn't mean that supply chain issues aren't resolved or whatever, but it does look like we're a few weeks away from breaking down in a more significant way once this 20 weekly gives up, and that's basically what we're looking for. All other time frames suggest that we're giving up. The MACD suggests here we're giving up, so it looks like we're coming back down to what could be between 8 and 900 for that. So again, it's all so far so good. Now Nasdaq, we are looking for a little bit lower. We need a little bit lower. We were saying that yesterday. We want on major indices between another 2 to 5% down. That's fine before we reach these major horizontals. We've got bullish divergence on the 4-hourly, which is okay. It is what it is, and that would suggest further downside would be required for 2 or 3 drives of that to finally give us the launch pad. And again, I'm not talking about the everything reversal. I'm talking about the everything bounce, and this bounce could be quite significant. So we're talking 20 to 30% maybe for these major indexes, and that could transpire to 30 to 100% for Bitcoin, and God knows what for altcoins. And so it's a little bit hopium, but again, I'm trying to explain myself here for you to understand it in the simplest terms without going through hours worth of me just trying to break things down on a bit more of a technical level. I don't want to be sitting here watching videos all day. But yeah, there's your Nasdaq a little bit further down, be permitted. Same with the Dow Jones Industrial Average coming down to a major support, which is effectively the pre-pandemic high. Resistance, support. We're coming down to test that. Now, I'm not suggesting at all that this is where it stops but this is where it's likely to catch its bounce from. We merge these things together. Food, fuel, major supports on indices, and stocks obviously we're thinking about bouncy time. Now the only issue with all of this is the Dixie, which was rejecting and could still reject at that 105 zone, right? That's make or break for it really. If it breaks above 105, easily get to 106, 107, 108, just carry on going. The idea is to not fight the Fed, and it would be silly to try to fight the Fed, but I don't mind a scrap from time to time, and might as well fight the Fed. So do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get in front of the CPI figures. I'm not suggesting in any ways that the stock market has got further downside over the next year or two. I'm not suggesting that at all. What I am suggesting is this looks like a recipe for a potential decent bounce, which is why I call it the everything bounce, because that's what's going to happen. So if we do think about this on a technical basis, we've had bearish divergence followed by bullish divergence followed by bearish followed by bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, blah, 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 blah. And at the moment we're still completing on the daily here, bearish divergence. Again, for what it's worth, it is what it is. I'm not saying it's the be all and end all, but we look like we might be fighting this natural top here at 105. And again, this could transpire to this coming down, below maybe 102. And if that's the case, back down to around about 99. That would be great. So just bordering 99 to 100. This is all very hard really to fathom, I suppose, for the most part, because people and markets obviously and just everybody out there is super bearish. They see the dollar going up forever. But remember, you know, we were talking about the dollar going up around here in September. Said, look, we're going to break out and this is going to be a bullish year for the dollar. It has been a bullish year for the dollar. We're 6 months into that year. We were saying that 9 months ago, right? So the idea for the most part, the best kind of trades is to get in before the big trades actually happen. So you position yourself in a situation where you are one of the first to allocate your positions, right? And it goes usually against the trend and against the sentiment, which for the moment is super bearish. So like I say, you know, we were bullish on the dollar from September last year, and so be it. That was you can see how that's played out. We were obviously bullish for reasons. Now I'm not bearish on it, but I am thinking about merging all these things together to form the everything bounce, which is, I think, honestly, between 2 to 3 weeks away. It could even start today, but between 2 or 3 weeks away we should start to see the everything bounce play out. Now obviously we've got bullish divergence on 4 hourlies on Nasdaq and Dow Jones, and we've also got that on Bitcoin as well. For what it's worth, you know, Bitcoin is down at its $20,000 psychological level, which is its previous parabolic run from 2017. It's a big number. It's just a number. It can drop down lower than that, and I think in order to complete this, unless it's already completed already and we're just hanging around waiting for the everything move to take place, because Bitcoin is not able to move you know, outside of the stock market at the moment, is just not willing to do it. So they do need to make a push together for this to work out. And again, you know, the everything bounce that I'm describing, it's not so much about the technicals on a 4 hourly like this bullish divergence, which is something. It's definitely something with it. You know, that's only going to yield so much. We're thinking about front running the CPI data, thinking about all the things that go into that. So we've got our rate hike, now we've got food and fuel coming down as the TA suggests on the longer term time frames. So I think inflation is most likely to see a peak soon, and it's these sort of things that we look for to get that read. And as soon as we start to see inflation coming down, then the everything bounce really does pick up a gear, because confidence will resume in the market. Now inflation is always going to be high, it's going to remain high, food prices will stay high, fuel prices will stay high, and the Federal Reserve 75 basis point is barely going to touch the side. So I'm not suggesting inflation is going to be under control, but to recognize a peak will make a big difference. This is all part of what I'm trying to put across to you all. The everything bounce is going to be a significant one, and what we're trying to do is position ourselves appropriately at the lower levels. Obviously you're incurring a fair bit of risk here because it goes against the sentiment, and sentiment counts for a lot as well. Everybody's super bearish, and that could be enough to break down below these major supports and obviously take us to much lower figures, and that'll be it. It's done and dusted. But outside of that, if you merge all the technicals together, outside of maybe just thinking about the Dixie, which is the outlier at the moment, we're still waiting for a reaction of the Dixie, a more significant reaction, and I think that is going to be the catalyst for the everything bounce to really catch fire. Like I say, there's short signals that will be due towards the end of this week, so we just got to wait for today's closure on wheat. We'll get a short signal on the weekly. That's going to transpire over a period of weeks and months. Fuel prices, food prices basically coming down, mostly food, but fuel as well. Obviously you can see that reaction already from the dollar just after my last video, really. You know, on the day we're down 5%, and who knows where it'll go. So it's looking quite good, but like I said, don't expect reactions the second you finish watching the video. Try and digest the information that I'm giving you, and you know, it's easy to move with the trend. Obviously everybody moves with the trend, and everybody, you know, when the fear kicks in, it's hard to pull any kind of trigger. But when you think about what's causing this huge downturn in all markets, these are some of the main things to think about. And again, all we're trying to do is front run the CPI data, and at the moment it's playing out like I think it's going to do. It's early days still, you know, but it is playing out quite nicely, and these are the sort of things you want to see leading into the everything bounce. Right, so I'm going to leave with you there. I've got a school disco to attend with my daughters, obviously, and I hope you have a nice day, good weekend, take it easy.